Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Marley. I'm a flight attendant with a major US airline, and I'm here to answer your questions. So I asked you guys on Instagram to send me all your questions about flight attendant life, dealing with passengers, especially as of late, these passengers been out here losing their whole entire minds, y'all. But y'all sent me a whole bunch of questions. I don't know, like, it's a lot. I don't know that I'll be able to get to all of them in this video, but part 2 could be coming very, very soon. So don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell. Make sure you guys are waiting for the next one. I promise there's a lot of good content coming. All right, so let's get into it. Okay, question number 1. Do you need a degree to be a flight attendant? The answer is no. I believe, at least for the airline I work for, and I believe most airlines in the United States, all you need is a high school diploma or GED and customer service experience. That's all they're really looking for. Okay, this brings me to question number 2. Flight attendant schools, are they a scam or are they legit? In my opinion, they are a scam. Save your money. They can't teach you how to be a flight attendant for a particular airline. All they can teach you is about customer service experience. When you get hired with whatever airline you get hired with, they train you the way they need you to be trained. So they train you on how to do evacuations, how to do water evacuations, on all the aircrafts they fly, medical training, hazmat training, security training. They will teach you everything you need to know to work at that airline. So anything the flight attendant school could have taught you about whatever aircraft, it's irrelevant. All you need is customer service experience. If you can do that and make your personality shine, you can get in the door. Do you have to live where you're based? So the short version, no. So you can be what's called a commuter. So for example, I live in Miami, but I'm a Philadelphia-based flight attendant. So most people's work commute involves just getting in the car, driving to work real quick. For me, on the other hand, I get in the car, drive to the airport, and then catch a flight to Philly to then start working my trip. Oh, this is a good one. Do you have to know how to swim to be a flight attendant? So that depends on the requirement of that particular airline. So the airline I work for did not require that we know how to swim. However, you should probably get comfortable with water, because during training you have to learn how to do water evacuation. So during training, you practice water evacuations called ditching. And that is in the unlikely case that the aircraft goes down in the water and you have to evacuate the plane, inflate the rafts, and get everybody's life vests on, etc., etc. You do that exercise in a pool. You do have a life vest on, so you're floating. So even if you're not a good swimmer or strong swimmer, you should probably be comfortable, at least comfortable in water. All right? Don't necessarily know how to, you don't have to be Michael Phelps, right? You ain't gotta be Michael Phelps out here racing, but just a general level of comfort in water would be helpful. Oh my goodness. Okay, I get this question all the time. When I tell you all the time, from my friends, from strangers, from family, literally all the time. Do we have to pay for our own hotel rooms? No, we do not. When the company books a trip for us, they book the hotels with that trip. So if they know that this 3-day trip is going to have 4 flight attendants on it, they book 4 hotel rooms. The hotel rooms are booked under the company name. When we get there, the front desk person, the receptionist, will give us like a sign-in sheet. We sign in with our names, get our room keys, and we go up to our room. That's it. Another question I get a whole lot. Do we have to share hotel rooms? No. So a lot of times when you get to work, You do not know the people you're flying with. You may have never flown with them before. You may never fly with them again afterwards. So everybody gets their own hotel room. You do not have to share hotel rooms. So for example, if I was the only woman on my crew and it was the other 3 flight attendants were men, then I would have to, like, it wouldn't make sense for me to have to share a hotel room with a man I've never met before, you know? Like, no, it's not a thing. I promise it's not a thing. Okay, here's another good one. Are you scared of turbulence? Not in the sense that I think the aircraft is gonna go down. So I am very, very cautious when it comes to turbulence because sometimes you can get caught in a pocket of air that, you know, the tower didn't see on the radar, the pilots didn't see coming. And if you're not strapped in, if you're not, you know, if your seatbelts aren't buckled, you can get tossed around the cabin, right? So I know flight attendants who have been tossed and like hit the ceiling, come back down. It actually happened recently, probably last week at my airline. They hit what was called clear air turbulence, which is the type of turbulence that they can't see coming. And the plane dropped 150 feet. A flight attendant got tossed and like broke his ankle, right? So that is a type of turbulence that, you know, worries me because we have to be in the aisle and serving drinks and, you know, on the cart. So while you guys, the passengers, might be seated with your seatbelt fastened, that's not always the case for us because, you know, we're up doing our duties. So yeah, not necessarily scared, but very cautious. Okay, somebody asked, do you get to see the cities that you go to or just the airport? Yes and no. So if it's a day when I'm working, let's say 2 flights. So I go from Philly to Dallas, Dallas to Miami. When I get to when I get to Dallas, I'm not leaving the airport because I still have another flight to work. So I can't just like leave and go off gallivanting around the city because there's more work to do. But the last flight of the day, when we get to Miami, leave the airport, we'll go to our hotel. Now, once you get to your hotel, you're off for the night. So let's say our layover is 18 hours. So now I have 18 hours in the city to do whatever I want. Your only requirements are that you show up on time the next morning and you show up sober. You need to be sober and punctual and you're good. That layover time, the 18 hours, is yours to do whatever you want with. They tend to be longer for international flights, longer international flights. So like Europe, South America, etc. Those layovers tend to be longer. Domestic ones can be anywhere, from your standard or your minimum of 10 hours to, I think the longest domestic one I've had was like 34 hours in Detroit, I believe it was. Okay, so somebody asked, do I ever get scared that like 9/11 type stuff will happen on my flights? No, not necessarily, because after 9/11, there were so many precautions put in place to protect travelers from, stuff like that happening again. They got, developed the Department of Homeland Security. The TSA did not exist before 9/11. So yes, while it may be a nuisance, the lines may be long, it's there to protect you so that people don't come on board with, guns and knives and bombs and, whatever else they might use to take down an aircraft. Also, you cannot just walk into a flight deck these days the way they were able to. That door does not open until we are at the gate on the ground. So once we get on board, everybody's on board, we close the aircraft door, that door is closed and locked. And it's also bulletproof. So even if someone did manage to get on with something, you can't just get into a flight deck and take over a plane. It don't work like that, at least not anymore. And I'm very, very grateful for that. One less thing I have to worry about. However, we are always vigilant because people might try to storm the flight deck. It's happened before where people try to rush the flight deck door. Don't know where they thought they were going, but we are always on high alert. We are always, watching to make sure we see everything that's going on. And speaking of seeing everything that's going on, when people find out I'm a flight attendant, so many people ask me this question, and I know y'all be wanting the tea, right? So here we go. Is the Mile High Club a real thing? Yes, there are people who do, be trying to have sex in the aircraft. I've heard stories of other flight attendants catching women performing fellatio on their partner, or even on a complete stranger next, like in the seat, like head in lap. I've heard, well, not me personally, but I've been told about people in the lavatory. Here's the thing, y'all. We know our whole job is to make sure we know everything that is going on the aircraft. We know. We seen y'all go in the lavatory together. Also, we can hear you in there. You're not quiet. Like, people really think they be getting away with stuff. We know. We do. So one of my instructors told me that he had to go up to the door and be like, y'all gotta come out of there, or I'm about to unlock this door and open it. And yes, we can unlock the door from the outside. So he had to go gather them, get them together real quick. But yes, the Mile High Club is a thing, and people really be trying it. That's gross though, because planes are gross, because people are gross. Please keep, your genitalia in your clothes on the aircraft, please. I beg of you. Don't make me have to go do no paperwork, write no reports. Just, please, keep it together. Y'all can wait till you get on the ground. I promise you can. What is the most ridiculous thing a customer has complained about? Actually, last week, I had a lady get mad at me because I did not come and get her trash fast enough for her. So we're doing the beverage service, and I had gone forward a few rows to grab whatever. When I was coming back to the cart, I passed her, and she tried to hand me her trash. So she had a plastic cup, the soda can I had given her, and a napkin. So she tries to hand it to me, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I don't have anywhere to put trash right now. So then, we're still continuing the beverage service, and she rings her call button to call us to ask us to take the trash again. So I'm like, no, I can't, because I'm serving drinks from this cart. There's nowhere for me to put the trash on the cart. Also, unsanitary, COVID. I'm gonna take the cup and the can you put in your mouth and put it on the thing that I'm serving other people from. Nasty, right? So we get to the back, and we're switching carts. So we're taking down the beverage cart to bring out the trash cart. But I guess she felt like we took too long for her. So she walks herself to the back, and she's like, I'm very upset. And I said, oh, I'm sorry, what's happening? She's like, I rang my bell for you guys to come get this, and nobody ever came. I'm like, we were still serving treats. She's like, you're just standing back here with your phone in your hand. Mind you, the phone was my work device that I'm supposed to have with me at work. But so she comes and she's like, I'm in a wheelchair. They brought her to the plane in a wheelchair, but she walked on board all the way to row 21 where she was seated. So I figured she was, doing just fine. And then she walked herself back to the bathroom, but somehow apparently she needed help, and the cup, soda can, and napkin impeded her somehow from getting to the restroom, or so she felt. I don't know. She came back and she was real mad about it, and I was like, okay. So now when we waited for her to finish using the restroom, and we start, going out to collect the trash. And when we walk past her row, She goes, how long does it take? I'm like, what? How long does it take, huh? How long does it take? What if this was a real emergency? So I'm like, ma'am, how long does what take? She's like, when I ring the bell, how long does it take for you guys to come? I'm like, is there an emergency now? Do you need anything else? Can I get you anything else? No. I said, girl, ping. Turned off her call bell, and we kept going. And my crewmate's like, look, if there's an emergency, you ring that bell as many times as you need. And we're walking away. She's still like, you should be faster. It shouldn't take so long. Mind you, I knew that what she needed was her trash picked up, but apparently it was an emergency, child. But yeah, this woman was very, very upset with me over, trash. I was like, you know what? I'm not about to argue with you. I mean, I didn't say this to her, but I'm not about to argue over a cup, an empty plastic cup for the trash. No. You just got to feel your feelings on that one, sis. Sorry, don't know what to tell you. It is what it is. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I do have more questions. Y'all sent me a whole bunch, so look out for part 2 coming very soon. But in the meantime, you can connect with me on Twitter and on Instagram at marleyj_. And I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you get notified every time I post a new one. Love you guys. See you soon.